Welcome back to the Jam Room Podcast. We're cutting up. We're having a good time. That's funny. For the listener out there, we're trying to use the word and like as little as possible in this podcast. So if we start laughing, that's why. For context.
Well, it was really just Chris's Valley Girl impression.
Yeah, that too.
The vocal fry is really solid on that one.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm Sam.
I'm Ilya.
We're here in beautiful Columbia, South Carolina, at the Jam Room recording studio. We are excited to be here with our good friend Chris Reed. Chris, how you doing, man?
Doing well.
Welcome.
Doing well. Thank you so much for having me on the program.
Absolutely. Chris is an amazing musician. He runs his own band called Chris Reed and the Bad Kids. One of the nicest guys you will meet in professional music.
So true.
Or just at all, really. We love Chris. He's a very good friend of ours. He also does a lot of solo gigging around town at bars, and he has some original music out. Just overall, very talented, very hardworking musician, and really nice guy. So, Chris, what's your story behind getting into professional music?
Okay, so I've been playing since I was 9 years old, and always wanted to be the rock star. Who doesn't want to be a rock star, right?
Of course.
And but that's not a job. Like, you need to go get a job, like an actual. Come on now, be an adult. And so it got to the point where I was not an employable person because I wasn't doing very well in my life.
Sure.
And the only people who would, the only way I could really make a living was playing at a little place called Little Mountain Cafe. And I was playing there just for tips, and I was there every single Sunday. They gave me a shot, right? And so I started kind of honing the craft, if you will.
Sure.
Every single Sunday I was there. Like, there was, you knew I was going to be there. And then one of the waitresses worked at another bar and said, hey, come play this one. And then somebody worked at that bar and said, hey, come play that one. And then eventually, I did that for a year. That was, by the way, in 2020.
Wow.
What else happened in 2020? Right? Right.
Important.
So I'm playing for people who are like all in masks and 6 feet away from, they've got, things in
Sure.
between the booths and caution tape and all,
Sure.
So that's when I started. I started during COVID.
Dang.
Yeah. And a year later, it got to the point where I was playing more gigs than I was able to actually work my real job.
Sure.
So I was playing that 80-20 factor of like, I'm making more from this than I am from that, so I'm going to completely switch over.
Send it.
Which sounds like a good idea, right? And it was like, I want to say it was August 31st, 2021, right? That's when I decided to go professional. I'm going to do this for a living. This is my dream. Yep. So I had 3 gigs that week. Oh, we don't have you on the schedule for this. We're gonna have to cancel Friday. Right? Oh, and then the next one they were like, oh, we're not having music until the spring. We're gonna have to cut that. Right?
It's tough.
Okay,
there.
and then the next one, all of them got of the weather. It was raining, so we've got to, and it's like, so the first week I'm doing this, everything is also the schools got COVID that week, so everybody became a homeschool teacher. That was my first week of being a professional musician.
That's tough, man.
And I'm like, yeah, this is a good decision. This
Yeah.
is what I should continue doing. But now this is my 3rd year, I think, completely doing it professionally.
That's awesome.
And I also thought that this would be, be an easier job because it's something I love, something I'm going to be doing anyway. It's not construction like I used to. That was
your job, construction?
Well, I had a few. I poured concrete, I made septic tanks because I'm built for that.
Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah, I was not good at any of these jobs. I was a helper for a reason. I was not in charge. But I was a plumber. I was a guy who got under the house because I was tiny enough to do so.
That is a job that you're well equipped to do.
It's a job, but it's anyway. I was a horrible employee, and I've had people. I used to also detail cars, which means I used to use a vacuum and a water hose. I did not know what I was doing.
Sure.
But so it's funny. I was playing a gig one time, and one of my old coworkers came to it. He's like, "Man, really glad the music thing worked out. I'm like, what?
It's a backhanded compliment.
I'm like, thank you. He goes, oh yeah, you're a horrible detailer. So I'm really glad that worked out.
Oh my gosh.
That's so funny.
So that was it got me into it during COVID, and it's been a wild ride, man. Like,
Sure.
It's a strange job, and I didn't realize you could actually do it for a job. But
No doubt.
if you have the audacity to continuously say, hey, can I play? Hey, can I play? Hey, can I play? Hey, can I play? Eventually, someone's going to be like, oh, shut that guy up. Sure, fine.
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
just do it.
Gotta be a squeaky wheel.
The audacity.
Right.
Yeah.
Have the audacity, man.
It's also so wild to hear you say that you were a bad employee, because you are like top 5 hardest working musicians I know.
Oh, yeah.
Like you were grind, like you'll play like Friday night in Charlotte and then 2 Saturday gigs and then 2 Sunday gigs. I'm like, first of all, I don't know how this guy has a voice for that, especially like with the way you sing, the vocal fry thing. Like it's really amazing, man. Like I think you're an inspiration for a lot of other musicians that, you know, like you have to work really hard to be a working musician, you know?
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Absolutely. You know, because it's not something that you can do halfway.
Absolutely.
Now, people do, and
Sure.
they do it for a hobby, and they do it for fun, and they do it for $100 in a bar tab, and sure, okay, that works for the guy who's
As a
going to do
hobby.
it in his living room anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But for someone who's, I mean, literally feeding their family off this, paying their bills with this, but no, we're taking this pretty seriously. You
Yes,
know? And
absolutely.
if you want to, you work as hard as you want to.
Yeah.
If you want to work one day a week and that be it, and not be able to really pay for anything, and sure, do that.
Yeah.
But if you really want to go for this, there are plenty of gigs for all of us. There's no gatekeeping required. There's no need for all of that. Like, if someone comes up to me, like in an open mic, we run a weekly open mic with the Bad Kids, and if someone comes up to me and they're like, hey, so I'm trying to get into this place, I'm like, okay, well, here's the contact. Like, there's no need to keep these secrets or anything like that. Here,
Sure.
just there's plenty of room for everybody involved. So
Yeah.
I hope more people get to be a part of this scene, because I mean, there's the talent that's out there. Oh my God,
No doubt.
it's
And
incredible.
Columbia's got a lot of it, man. Like there's so much good musicianship in this town, especially with, you know, the University of South Carolina Music School and all these communities that have been developed at Your Jam, the Joint, like all these different spaces where just the best musicians, you know, convene and play music together and inspire each other.
And these jams where people just like, all of a sudden you'll get up on guitar, and then you see Zach Bingham come in, Mark Rapp's going to come in, you're just like Moses Andrews. Like, what?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a big fun jam, you know. So there's, I mean, God, so much talent. Really is. Really
also, I love that attitude of like, there's enough gigs for everyone.
Yeah.
I think what's been really inspiring to me too is like recognizing there were a lot of people that helped you get where you are in life, and like not you specifically, but just musicians in general that are doing it professionally. So it's really good to like provide that resource and that help to newer people.
Sure.
Anyways, I love that sort of philosophy.
Yeah. I think like I definitely really learned that from you, as I feel like when you first start as a musician, it's easy to think that there is competition. Like you don't want to feel that way, but it's really easy to think that is there all the time.
Steal my gig.
Right. Or, you know, something along those lines.
Right.
But I mean, like how we met you was from you like trying to book us for something.
Oh, that's right.
And we like didn't know you, but we were like, this guy's really cool. Like he's really nice. We like looked up what you were doing. We're like, wow, he's super busy, and he's like, and you're like booking for other people. But yeah, I from talking with you at some point, like early on when we met each other, you really drove that point home of there is enough for all of us.
There really is.
Absolutely.
It truly is.
Yeah.
I think there's like a fear that we all have that there's not.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, like
'cause
we have to beat each other out.
It's just not there. I mean, you're in competition with yourself. You push yourself as far as you want to go, and these venues are, if they want you, they're gonna book you. You know?
I think speaking of all this, that story of how we met you and how you got our first gig is crazy, because he booked us for a Valentine's Day gig out of town.
That's right.
It was out of town. A good chunk of money.
Oh, you guys were gonna have a hotel,
right?
Like,
They
was gonna provide hotel. Yeah.
I made your ad for you.
Yeah,
You did.
Like,
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So this whole time we were like, man, we're gonna get paid super well. Like this guy booked us for this gig where we're getting
Man, he's
paid great money,
He's connected.
providing a hotel, And then
Less than 24 hours later.
yeah, well, and then less than 24
Or
hours
before,
later,
yeah.
like the bar out of town did just the most unprofessional, like
No names.
Yeah.
No
No
name
names,
drops. No
absolutely.
names. No
No.
names.
yeah, but extremely unprofessional,
Yeah.
like canceling last minute for not a valid reason. I think they literally just
They just-
decided
They got
to
someone
hire
cheaper.
someone
Decided
else
not
and
to do
didn't
it.
tell us.
Yeah, that was it.
And then so Chris calls me and he's like, "Hey man, I got some really bad news. Like I didn't expect this thing to happen, but like I know y'all are probably counting on that money, so like I can pay that chunk of money out of pocket if you need." And I was like, "Absolutely not. No way. This is
to
not
do
your
with
fault
you."
in any
Because
sense."
I had a gig that same day, and I was like, I'm just gonna pay them everything that I made. Like I feel so bad
No.
about it.
So that's the
That
kind of guy
is
that
right.
Chris
That's
is.
how we met. That's
And
wild.
I remember like when you offered to do that, I was like, no chance in you know what? Heck, no chance in heck.
not in heck. No,
That
absolutely
I
not.
would ever accept that. But it's a huge testament to the kind of guy you are. And I also have heard like when everyone, especially if you're a booking guy, like mistakes are gonna happen.
Sure.
Like every time I hear anything about something with you, it's like you just pay, like you just don't take money or you lose money. And it's just, I don't know. It's just,
Well,
I
they
really
print
good guy.
money every day, you know.
That's
and
very
what do
Probably
you?
shouldn't.
I mean, right?
Just kidding.
But I mean, it's not always about the dollar sign, and that's one thing that it's really easy to forget.
No doubt.
Really, because you're doing this for a job. So if someone offers you something that's not what your rate is, it's just like a little bit less. You're like, no, I'm definitely not going to do it. Actually, what? You know what? Let's just give it a shot.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
that opportunity turns into another one.
Definitely.
And helping each other out. Why not?
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah.
you throw me a gig, I throw you a gig. It goes back and forth.
Right.
Definitely.
You know.
I think also a lot of musicians that are trying to develop themselves professionally in town, get more work, get more gigs. I think it can be, or even like in the original music scene, it can be extremely like self-focused. Like,
Sure.
like I want to get on your show. I want to play at your bar. I want to like get gigs from you. And I think they miss out a lot on the opportunities and the, like, even if you're still self-focused, it's worth being a part of the community and helping other people and like supporting other people, you know,
Absolutely.
going and hanging out at other people's gigs and shows, because it really will come around, you know, like
Yeah.
if you support other people and you support other musicians and you like are just a kind, friendly person, like they will help you. Like there
Yeah.
will come a time where they can,
Sure.
they're like,
or
oh,
like
yeah.
you lose your voice or whatever.
Exactly.
What happens? That's all you do for a living,
Yeah.
and you cannot do that one specific thing. You can do anything else. That's the one thing you can't do today.
Exactly.
So, hey, Ilya,
yeah.
do you have a voice today? Because I played 6 shows this week and I am dead.
Yeah.
Can you?
No doubt. And you're like way more likely to give a gig to a semi-talented but extremely friendly, supportive person, professional, than an extremely talented, like mean. you know.
I can attest to that
Yeah.
at 100% because
Yeah.
I think that most of the work that I've gotten has not been because I am the greatest singer in the world or I'm the greatest guitar player in the
Sure.
world or greatest harp. No, like it's from professionalism and being kind, and it's easy to be nice.
Yeah.
It's fun. Now it's hard to be nice to some people. I will say that.
That's true. And some people don't deserve it.
That you're not wrong.
To be honest.
But
That's a hot take, but I'm
know.
gonna stand by that. I
Listen,
think.
yeah.
We'll see. I'm gonna think about it some more.
Oh yeah, well, I'm not completely committed to this. It's just easy to be.
Well, what I really meant by that is like there's definitely some times where
Does it come with a meal?
Yeah.
If I can have a meal, all right. I'll be kind.
you give me a meal, I guess I'll be nice.
2 free drinks. Okay, all right.
You know.
All right, we're in.
Can't always be nice to a bar or manager that's trying to mess with your business, that kind of thing.
Well,
You know.
Screw you over.
you know.
But beyond that, like be nice to everyone. I respect that message a lot. I'm trying to elaborate.
I
the
just
phrase, you
appreciate
can't be
that we
nice to
can say
everyone.
"screw you over," but we have to say "heck." I just
Heck
enjoy
you
it.
over.
I
sounds
heck
worse.
you over. I don't.
Way
yeah, I
worse.
think that's probably yeah.
So speaking of getting opportunities, getting called back for things, Chris, what in the I'm gonna laser it down to the solo cover 3-hour bar gig or brewery gig or restaurant gig. What have you figured out that has helped you get calls back?
It's the tie.
It's the tie.
It's the tie.
It's just been
It's
a tie.
the tie
this
and the
time?
Converse.
Every time.
Start
It's
with a tie.
if you don't, I think we need vests. I think there needs to be more vests.
Ilya wears a
involved.
vest.
I was
That's
telling you
probably
about
why we
vests.
get
See,
called back so
see,
much.
it's all of
It's all the time.
wear
the
it,
vest.
man. Where it's all about. No. But seriously, the professionalism factor, dressing the part. You know, if you're going to show up at a place and they're selling steaks for $80,
Yeah.
don't show up in flip flops. Okay.
Yeah.
Or t-shirt.
Come on, guys. Like, you know.
Sam just called somebody out.
Oh no.
Lovingly.
But I mean, show up to work. You know, you're there to do a job. Show up on time. Show up sober. This is a problem for some musicians.
Sure.
Like some people are just like, wow, wait, you know, no, like do your job, do it well, and just again be kind, courteous, and don't harass people for that. Just be there to do your job.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Professionalism goes a long way.
And reliability.
Advertise yourself. You know, actually why would anyone come see you if they don't know where you are?
That's a great point.
That doesn't just, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just, it really is as simple as, it's the bare minimum, man.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Just show up,
Common
do your
sense.
job, and there's a lot of common sense involved.
Ain't so common.
That's not well. There's also
Just
that. Then there's also, so I'm a pretty defiant person as a whole. Like when I was a teenager, I was diagnosed with ODD, which I think is hilarious. Oppositional defiance disorder.
That's an actual.
That's an actual thing. And my mother looked at them and she's like, "You mean he's a teenager? What is that? What do you mean? Like he doesn't want to do." Okay, no, but like literally, if I'm making a meal, I can't call them directions for a recipe. I have to call them food stories, because if you're telling me what to do, no. If you tell me to turn it down, it's gonna be turned up. You know, so
Yeah.
But no, it's so I am a very defiant person in that regard. But on that same point, you know, I'm going to accommodate this venue. Like if it does not need to be that loud, don't. I have the speaker about maybe 2 to 3 feet from my own head.
Sure.
If it's loud enough for me and I can hear it, then the people that are 15 feet away from me, 20 feet away from me, and they're eating their dinner, then it should be a good volume for
That's
them.
your hearing, man.
You know, and but no, you know, so that defiant factor is there.
Sure.
But you truly have to. It doesn't matter. This goes back to the professionalism thing. It truly doesn't matter if you had a bad day today. It doesn't matter if you know you're worried about this, you're stressing about that. You're showing up to do that job, and you know what? You're there to make someone's day.
Sure.
And that making someone's day, that's going to make you feel better about whatever you had going on that day.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever you're being defiant towards and you're angry about it, just let it go and do your job.
That's great advice, man.
It can definitely helping other people, man. Like that's the reward. It really, I mean, don't get me wrong. We need to pay some bills, not just on thoughts and prayers, you know, but at the same time, helping people and being part of that, like that's, as a whole, I'm just very thankful that I'm able to do that with my job.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
That's really admirable too, because I think sometimes the hardest part of being a performer for a living is the performing and the, like, I have to take whatever I had from this day and then go be in front of people and be like happy to be there.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do. But I mean, that's a great outlook to have. And I try to remind myself of those things.
But it's not, and I mean, it's not something that comes across perfectly every single time because we're human beings, you know? But I would say, that's the biggest thing is just professionalism as it just across the board.
Definitely.
I also really admire your, I'm going to call it uniform.
Okay. Well, there's a story. There's a story behind that.
That's fantastic. Let's hear the story.
Well, the story is that I worked all of these jobs, construction, and all of these jobs that I was not good at. But I also had to wear a uniform. And I had to wear a not so flattering uniform. I had to have my name on my shirt so I could remember what it was. You know, I was always dirty. I always had dirt under my fingernails. I always had, you know, whatever it was, right? But I finally found a job that I can dress like I'm going to sell you some Bibles. You know what I'm saying? Like I finally had a job that I I can dress up. Like I can go to the nines. I can do whatever I would like.
Do you sell
know?
Bibles at gigs?
Well, that's my side hustle. But no,
Knocking on
but
people's doors.
I always wanted to have a job that I could, because I always admired. I know he always looks like the disheveled businessman, but I kind of admired that guy.
It's a vibe.
I saw that, I was like, that looks successful to me. Now, like, that's just my opinion, of course, but that was like, the guys in the Rat Pack, you know what I mean? Sinatra, Dean, like they always were dressed so cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm able to do. Now, granted, I first started, not a lot of money. This shirt came from Goodwill, and I've been wearing it for 3 years now. Shout out to Goodwill. I'm actually able to do it. So if I have a choice, this is what I'm going with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I respect that. I think there's also a huge visual identity branding aspect of all that, too.
It is a brand.
Well, absolutely.
It's very recognizable.
Well, and that's also with the advertising. Like, if you see any of the advertisement I put out, I'm wearing the exact same kind of stuff. Like, you're going to, as far as Chris Reed as a product, you're getting the product that you're hiring.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be, it's not false advertising at all. It is exactly what you see.
Yeah.
And if you see any pictures of the band and you see me, throwing myself in the picture, it's true. Like, we actually do that. Like, we actually are all over the place.
You guys put on a crazy show, man.
It is. It's really fun.
Thank you.
Speaking of the Bad Kids, I believe one of the only, I haven't seen you guys a ton of times. I've seen you all a few times, handful. I love this sort of hard rock funk thing fusion that you guys
Yes.
do. Very fun, very enjoyable to watch. If you get a chance to see Chris play with this band, do not miss it because it's a good time. Bring your plugs. Just kidding. Love you. But
No, protect your hearing.
That is yeah.
if you see us play as a band, you should bring your plugs too. As live music is
If
loud,
you go
It's just-
to live
come on.
music, you should protect
Yeah.
your hearing.
especially the jam.
Huh?
The jam gets so loud. Oh my goodness.
Oh, God.
Shout out Carlin.
Oh,
I don't know how Carlin hasn't lost hearing, man. That blows my mind. He hasn't though. I've talked to him about it, and he said that he's just in that little
Avoided
booth in New Brooklyn, or the old Brooklyn rather.
the
He
old Brooklyn.
He just doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't get it, man. I would have lost so much hearing. My ears ring, and I protect my hearing like as much as anyways. That's a whole tangent. But when I saw y'all at a venue on Main Street, and you guys did a mashup of The Middle by Jimmy Eat World and Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd.
Yes, we did.
And
Absolutely.
it was like the middle melody and lyrics over the groove of the verse and the chords of the verse of Comfortably Numb.
Yeah, so it became like it was so the Jimmy Eat World song is it's in a major key.
Sure.
Right?
D major.
It's in D, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we put it down to B minor.
Nice.
So now it's like the relative minor, which I just found out what that meant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Also, don't know how to read music. Don't exactly know what I'm doing. But it seems to be working out. But
I think so.
And I only laugh because I've also just started practicing that again. Like, I forgot a lot of that information.
It's not just me.
No,
this is another hot take. I got a lot of hot takes this podcast.
I'm with it.
It's this
I'm
mic.
here-
You put this mic in
It's
front
a
of any
good mic.
dude like from ages like 18 to 35, and they're just going to say some controversial crap. I'm trying to avoid that.
We've gone from heck to screw to crap. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
progression.
Stepping it up.
I'm going to skip that hot take, actually. It's not worth anything. It's irrelevant at this point.
It's something about theory, and Sam is very passionate about theory, and
Theory's great. Reading, I don't think you really need to know how to read to do professional music.
All right.
In my opinion.
depends on who you are as a
Depends on who you are.
professional.
If you're a violinist, that's all you got to do.
That's right. It's your
and
job.
it's funny. So the way I started was not on guitar. I started guitar when I was 9 years old. But before that, my grandmother had a piano, and she lived 2 doors down from me. I was homeschooled, which is, maybe that gives a little insight to how awkward I am.
Me too, actually, for a couple years.
Well,
Yeah,
it
makes
shows.
sense. I'm sure it does. I believe that.
But anyway,
We can tell.
so yeah, you can and anyway, there it is. I didn't want to learn how to play piano, right? But I wanted to hang out with my grandmother. I wanted to have some Miracle Whip sandwiches. So I was going to learn how to play piano. But what I was doing was she would play something and then flip the page and play whatever was on that page. So that was how I learned how to play by ear. I would just flip the page when she flipped the page. I wasn't
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, that's actually really cool.
When
That is cool.
I'm a high school dropout, but I aced the music class. Why? Because I can turn the page when the instructor turns the page, as long as he plays the piece first.
Yeah.
And at the very end of it, he knew exactly what I was doing, but it was the only thing I was passing. So he was like, adding some new notes in there. I'm like, yeah, I thought the entertainer just needed a little more spice, but
some more sparkle. That's funny, man. That's crazy. I mean, that makes sense. I'm a firm believer in like a good ear will take you a very long way with music, because
That's true.
really, I mean, you're gonna find a different notation in every musical context you experience. If you play a gig with us, you might get like an iPhone note with some numbers on it that I made.
Yep.
If you play a church gig, you might see like, chords and not numbers, but then it might be like transpose it up a whole step, and you got to know how to transpose with numbers. And
oh, see, that's wild. Okay, so we had Moses play bass for us at a gig. We were in Newberry at Bar Figaro, right?
Okay.
So I sent him the set list, and as well as I do, like you just mentioned, we do a lot of mashups,
Sure.
right? Which means we don't do the songs the way they go
Sure. Yeah.
at all. That's, again, the Defiant factor seems to be working out. But so I sent him a list of like 100 songs, right?
Yeah.
And we're not going to play all. I mean, we're going to play some of these parts of these, but we're not going to do this. And he's like, what song? Like after every song Moses was coming, he was like, "What are we playing next?" I'm like, I don't know. Shout out to Moses, by the way.
Moses.
Absolutely incredible. That same gig, got him off stage. My sound guy got on bass, and he played piano during Mary Jane's Last Dance.
That's awesome.
And
Oh, wow.
just crushed it.
He's so talented.
Oh my god,
He is.
He was the
He's
first guest we had. He was the first published episode we had on the JRP podcast.
Also,
So we
such
love
a good
Moses.
guy. By
Such
the
a good
way,
guy.
guess what? He's not a keyboard player. He's not a.
He's an everything player.
He's a drummer. He told me, he's like,
Yeah.
I never get gigs for it, but I'm a drummer. Like,
Yeah.
I was like,
so
wow,
funny.
you just do okay, all
A lot
right.
of drummers
He
in
does
Columbia.
everything.
He really
It's-
does. I mean, incredible guy.
Yeah, we love Moses, man.
Oh, but I do want to one more thing about
Yeah, please do.
the sound, right? So where I even learned how to do sound was at the jam room. Now, granted, I didn't learn anything because I was thinking about a girl. So whatever Jay was telling me to do, that was a fun, different area of my life. But no, the things that I did take away were what I'm still using today as far as compression and gain and everything like that is concerned. So shout out to Jay Matheson. He taught us all quite a bit in those classes. I highly recommend
Yeah, very
Midlands
smart guy.
Midlands Audio Institute.
Yeah.
I did that too.
You did that too?
Yeah.
Oh my! And did you get Fat Rat and
I
Bizarre?
did. Yes.
Great guy.
That was
Great
like
guy.
definitely
Really good people.
one of the coolest classes that we
Name
had.
dropping out of here.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah. It's a really, really good program.
there's just so many good people in this. One of my favorite things is when people complain and say, "Well, you don't even have a music scene." Really?
Oh, it's there.
Really? How have I been paying bills for the past 3-4 years? What? Huh?
Yeah.
No, there's a huge music scene out there.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean,
Especially if you can drive a little bit,
oh,
Charlotte,
most definitely.
Augusta, Myrtle Beach, Greenville.
Sure.
We are in the commuter
Charleston.
city. We
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I reckon it's about a good time for an ad break. I don't know why I looked at the timer. Ad break.
we have cameras today to look at.
If you want to sponsor this podcast,
I'm selling Bibles.
He's selling Bibles, but we'll sell some
So
ad
sponsored.
spots for this podcast. You can advertise for very affordable rates. We'll work something out. We also have a Patreon. It's $7 a month, and it literally just helps support the people that put this podcast on. 'Cause
We will have like things to give you
Yes.
at some
Yeah.
point.
Oh, you get your name mentioned at the end.
Oh, that's
Oh.
true. You did
Right
get
now
your
we
name.
have 0 patrons because we started it a few days ago. So if
I'm with
you are the first to sign up, you'll get your name or your band name mentioned every single podcast, and you'll be the only one
Oh.
right now. That might change by the next time we film. But otherwise,
So for how much?
$7 a month.
$7 a month.
Yeah.
And
You want to be our
guys-
first one?
Yeah. Bro,
Oh, man.
for $7
Shout
a
out,
month.
Chris.
Shout out to Bad Kids. Let's do
Dude,
this.
hey, we'd love
let's do
to.
this.
Okay.
I'm
Love
for,
to.
I'm in
Yeah.
it. I'm in it. I
Which
got
means-
$7 in my pocket. Let's do this.
Yeah. A little behind the scenes of the financials of this. Chris is now in the hole from this podcast.
Oh no! Now I'm committed. Now I'm invested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Jam Room Podcast. From that ad break,
the
hopefully we
audience.
find advertisers
It's an
in the
audience
next
plant.
3 or 4 weeks before we publish this podcast. Thanks for sticking with us, Chris, and not just leaving.
Absolutely. No,
appreciate
I
that.
had things to do, but I'm here.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, we got 20 more minutes at most. Chris, what are some of the wilder stories that you have experienced doing music professionally?
I've been flashed a few times.
Oh, man. Wow.
That's happened.
Content advisory warning for our listeners.
That's as far as that story can go. Well, when when Bad Kids had their first show, we were we played the Soda City Market, which is every Saturday, 9 a.m.
Yeah.
to 1 p.m. Now, I want to say that again, 9 a.m. in the morning
Yeah.
on a Saturday. We were set up under the Marriott Hotel,
Oh, man.
right?
Okay.
We had no sound guy. Our amplifiers only were loud. That was the only volume we knew of, right? Using a bunch of borrowed equipment, just obnoxiously loud, right? We got through maybe 40. We didn't make it till 10 a.m. Apparently, there were pilots trying to sleep upstairs.
Oh, no.
In the hotel, and they were like, we just went to sleep. We can't have, like, they're directly underneath us. And we were just, and every single time people would come up and say, hey, can you turn it down? Sure. We turn it up even further. And it was just,
Back to ODD.
and then exactly, that's the oppositional defiance. Is, you said turn it. So that was our first gig, and during Twisted Sisters, We're Not Gonna Take It, we took it because the cops showed up.
Wow.
And they were like, you are not allowed to play any longer. Like, we're going to take you in if you have to stop.
Wow.
So we were almost arrested on our first gig.
At
which
9:45
is
a.m.
At 9:45 a.m. in the morning.
Dang. That's wild.
Now that also community of players. So we get done with that. This is the first time I've played Soda City Market since I was a teenager, right? And so we have to stop. They're like, you can start back at like noon when people are like awake, but you're not allowed to play anymore. It's like, all right, so we don't have anything to do for an hour or so. And there was this beautiful violinist playing that we were completely ruining her gig. Like, absolutely just being terrible, awful people. And I go up to her, and it was Martina Williams.
Oh, yeah.
And that was my first interaction with her, and I had a few bucks in my pocket. I put it in her, and I put my business card in her case as a tip. And we have been friends ever since. She actually calls me Kaboom.
Wow.
That's my nickname, because she said, your little ass just so loud, you know? And she's just been so just a positive person, but things like that's
awesome.
That was a pretty wild little moment.
Sure.
You know, playing for kids' birthday parties and things like that. I've played for the Irmo Elementary School, and kids are very honest. They were not going to hold back, right? And so I made the mistake of asking whatever questions you have for me, and they were like, what's the worst gig you've ever played, the worst you've ever felt about yourself while on stage? And I'm like, oh wow, we're just going for the throat here, and I'm just like, I remember that one time I was my girlfriend left me, you know what I'm saying? Sure. And I'm just like, why do you're so honest, children.
They're so nosy.
So just to clarify though, what's your worst gig is a bad question. I'm
not saying it's a bad question. It's
we
just
asked Paisley that question like 2 podcasts ago, and I feel really bad now. Sorry,
no,
Paisley.
it's not. No. But it just how bad you felt on stage was the thing that got me. They're like, so how bad have you ever felt while performing?
You felt about yourself.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh God, well,
That's tough. That is tough.
But yeah, no, the cops being called. This is not the first time. That was the first time.
That just happens though. I mean,
it's happened quite a bit.
Yeah.
With the band.
if you're a band, you're gonna get cops.
We got a sound.
Right.
We have a sound guy now.
That's good.
So we get less calls.
Yeah, good to have a sound guy.
that's good.
But it's almost like, especially when you play more of like alternative music, it's kind of a good thing.
It wasn't a bad first show. It
Yeah.
really, it kind of, made the brand.
Sure.
Right. You're called the Bad Kids.
It's the
Pretty foundational, I would say. Yeah, that's funny. We
know the band called the Bad Kids got the.
Oh, they got the oh wow, surprise.
Yeah. I feel like I mean that instance is probably different because you're playing like in the middle of Main Street when it's busy in the morning.
Yeah, it was
But,
just we shouldn't have done that.
But I feel like in general, like you're just gonna get the cops called on you if you play music as a band a fair amount,
Play house parties.
Yeah,
I endorse it,
Yeah.
I embrace it.
Yeah.
That's part of the job.
It just comes. It's the territory.
We played a Greek life house party recently, and the cops showed up because we were playing like punk rock. Which,
That'll
like,
do it. That'll do
Yeah,
it.
that's so
you
true.
punks.
Yeah, I know.
You and your
Very loud 100-watt Mesa Boogie Lone Star amplifier.
Oh, yeah.
Which I was probably playing too loud. But the cops were like, if we have to come back, like we're gonna give everyone at this party and the band like a citation. And immediately we're like, we're out. We're done. That citation's gonna be more than we're getting paid for this gig. Like,
And that's simply not. That's not
I don't know,
happening.
Yeah.
man.
But
Pay
that was
the
a fun
fee.
gig.
I say pay the fee. Go for it.
yeah, it's like that thing of like rock stars breaking stuff in a hotel room and then them just having to pay for all of it. It's like, is that really,
what are you
gotta
doing
pay for it
here?
anyways.
It's counterproductive,
Yeah. We also had we played actually with Jason behind the camera. Shout out Jason. We played a house
Shout out to
party,
Jason.
and the cops didn't show up. It was like pretty far out in like West Columbia.
Okay.
The cops didn't show up until they started shooting off fireworks, and then we were like, and then the cops showed up, and there were people doing some
It's just, like we
activities
It was
that the
not.
cops were not
Some
like.
activities.
Not us, not the band or the team, but it was just
It was
No,
the
no.
fireworks
No, no.
in West Columbia on like a.
It's pretty crazy though, because there was like this one moment where we were like, I think we were playing like "Separate Ways" by Journey, and there were fireworks going off, and there were cops. It was like, what is this?
I
Is
think
such
it was Journey. I think it was because you chose Journey.
Probably.
I think it was.
"Separate Ways" though, man. People like listening to that song. If you can pull it off,
It'll pull your heart out.
it will.
It's
It's a great song. I
it's
unashamedly
almost
love that song.
faithfully.
Oh, dude, it's one of my favorite songs of all time.
Oh my God.
Just hits you in the heart, man.
Like,
Shut up.
Okay, we're done with the Valley Girl, Chris.
nah, man. We got to keep it going.
That's funny.
The commitment to this.
Okay.
Hold the bit.
Well, I think we should wrap up with that. You talk.
I do. I have a few questions for you guys
Hey, we
now.
had
You guys as a whole, I have a lot of respect for you.
Thanks,
You
man.
know,
Dude.
you guys are playing, you're crushing it out there. But I do have a few questions for you.
Sure.
Just because, I mean, you're getting to know us. We want to get to know you. Now, you guys have had your pot, but I've got a few. These are some questions I've heard from some other people that I wanted to present to you.
Okay.
Wow.
So your career is going really well.
Thank you.
But this is for Sam specifically.
Okay.
How has your gangster rap career been going? And what can your fans expect next?
So we actually weren't going to talk about that this podcast.
I know you're about to drop the next Chronic, is all I know. So I'm just curious.
So I got a SoundCloud out there.
Oh no, you're a SoundCloud rapper?
That's
My
hilarious.
man.
I-
Yes. Yes.
If it's a song that I can't squeeze a major 7 chord into, I'm probably not playing it, unfortunately. But that's a really funny thought.
I just, the fans, they know what's happening.
Right.
It goes without saying. It's fine.
fair.
It's fine. But all right. So next question is Cerelia. We know you're a great singer, vocalist, if you will.
Thank you.
You play bass, but a lot of people don't know. Which I mean, we've talked about it, but a lot of people don't know that you're a classically trained kazoo player.
Yeah.
A kazooist,
Yes.
if you will.
I thought it was a kazooer.
Is it a kazooer?
Okay, that's actually really offensive.
and
it is a kazooist.
it's a kazooist, and I just happen to have a fresh. I was just, if you don't mind, if you could demonstrate for, because we've all been looking forward to this, right?
I have tears in my eyes.
If you don't mind,
Zach, you might want to turn the preamp down.
I think it's in the right key.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Well, me too.
it's got a.
There we go.
No, you're with it.
There we go.
We-
It's been a long time since I've played kazoo.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, you got this.
So off the rails.
It's what your fans have been looking forward to, and we all know this. So just don't hold back. It's all right.
Oh my gosh.
Chris, I have to.
I don't think he's gonna get it.
You got this.
Oh my gosh. I can't look at you in the face and do this.
It's for the fans. It's for the fans. Come on, you got this.
Hold on. You know, because I've never played this piece.
Well,
so
no, I understand. I
Yeah.
understand.
I don't know why every time I start it, I have to commit to this. Do you know what I'm really scared of? Chris? I'm scared that I'm gonna start a song that you're not playing.
Oh?
Do you not know what song he's playing?
That's what I'm like. This is my fear of being stupid. Actually, that's coming in right now. And this is making it worse.
You know, today was
Okay.
gonna be the day.
Okay.
I was gonna throw it back
Okay.
to you.
You're just gonna throw it back. You know what threw me off?
Way to resolve it.
What threw me off is you didn't have a capo.
Well, that'll
So-
do it. That'll do it every time. I mean, I felt like you were bending the notes correctly.
We just played a ton of Green Day recently, so
that could have been Green Day.
I was like,
It also could have been like 18 other songs.
true.
Like there's the. All right, so I do have one last question for you guys. Thank you for letting us know about your SoundCloud. Shout out to
Yep.
Sam Gangsta Rap.
Yep.
real fans will know that there'll be
They
updates
know
coming from
that,
an unidentified account.
Now
soon.
we know we finally are getting to know the kazooist that is Ilya.
I think one of the reasons the lack of capo messed you up is because you have to have perfect pitch to get into kazoo school. I think that's part of
No,
it.
exactly.
I think
She's classically trained.
So you
though.
wanted an F sharp
So-
minor and you played an E minor. So
I-
you kind of messed.
Right.
You kinda
I
messed
heard
her
some
up, to be
Tchaikovsky
honest.
in there. I mean,
Yeah.
I really did.
Oh my gosh.
It's some
but-
inspiration.
But one thing, again, that it's just we remember it years ago, right? Because you guys had this really it was off your first album. It was a great selling record. I mean, it's gone platinum at this point. It's the song that was on The Office. You guys have had it in blockbuster movies, and I don't see you playing this original song. You okay, Sam? I don't see you guys. I don't see you guys playing. I understand.
It really
No, you
it's
know which
sensitive
song,
for him.
and you know which song I'm talking about. You know exactly the one. But it's just we've all been waiting around, hoping that you guys would eventually play it and sing it for us. So if you don't mind, and it goes without saying, we all know their biggest hit, the Avocado song, naturally, right? So if you don't mind, if it's okay with you, I'll play the chords. But I would adore if we could please have this finally on the air.
Chris, something about not playing your biggest hit.
No, I
is that
understand.
you're really you're keeping people
I get it.
engaged. And
True.
we don't want to be defined forever.
No doubt.
We signed an NDA, so this is technically breaking that NDA.
Right, actually.
Well, there is that, but also
I think it actually expires between now and the podcast
when
release. though, so I
when
think
this
it'll be
gets
all right.
aired, I think you'll be. So I know you're the guitarist here, but if you don't mind,
That's all you, man.
What no one knows is that Sam actually did lead on this song.
He did actually. Ilya was backup, but I'll help you guys out with it. If you don't, it's one of my favorite. It's definitely one of my favorites you guys have ever done, and it's your biggest hit. So if we could all just avocado, avocado.
It's kind of fun to hear someone else play your song. You know?
Avocado, 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 I I love my avocado.
Alrighty, y'all. Thanks for
I
listening
love
to
my
the Jam Room
avocado.
Podcast.
Thank you so much.
My name is Sam.
My name is
I
Ilya.
love my
been-
avocado, but I do not like the pit. I love that guacamole. It's $50 more, maybe 85 cents. Avocado.
This has been Chris Reed. Check him out, Chris Reed the Bad Kids, Facebook, Instagram. I think he's publishing some music fairly soon. He's got some good stuff out there. Thank you to Zach Bingham behind the soundboard back there, mixing and mastering the audio.
We gave him a run for his money this week.
We did. Yeah. I didn't even know why Chris had his guitar when he walked in, to be
That's
honest.
specifically why I was at the music store.
was
to get a
suspicious.
kazoo.
Actually, we also bought a kazoo
gosh.
there. Do you remember that?
We did.
Yeah, for Braden.
We brought one for Braden.
Star Music. Shout out.
Yeah.
Um,
But thanks for listening. It's been a lot of fun.
thank you guys for having me.
You may notice a difference in video. That's because we finally had Jason Bozeman hot behind cameras and lighting.
Thank you, Jason.
Jason started a creative studio. Jason, what's it called?
JB Creative Studio.
JB Creative Studio. Really cool stuff. He's an awesome sound guy, lighting guy, video guy, graphic design guy. He does really all that stuff extremely well.
I just realized we didn't ask a question.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't ask a couple questions.
Oh,
Let's just ask the last question.
Okay.
we got this.
We just like to
pause in the
ask.
outro.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry. I'm so sorry to interrupt the outro. We like I didn't mean to say that really sarcastically. That was like really mean.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry. That was really uncalled for.
It's fine.
It's
fine.
what you did with the like you actually ingrained that into my brain now. We just like to ask about your favorite local spots.
Any place that has avocado, honestly, that's
Sweet.
that's my
That's most of them at this
that
That is pretty much
I
all
mean,
of them.
off of your first platinum album.
Yep.
Yeah. Where do you drink coffee?
I do.
Where do you go for coffee?
I'm gonna go for Drip. I'm gonna go to Drip Coffee.
Always Drip.
I'm going there next.
Everyone's answered.
It's a hot spot. I
a good
mean,
spot.
So good.
They've got records, atmosphere, haircuts. Like they have all of
They
it.
have haircuts?
So, you haven't been in the back? No. They have a back. They have a back.
You gotta go to the
I
back.
don't think I'm supposed to be in the back.
Hey, well, it's exclusive.
Wow.
Well, but definitely, again, thank you guys so much for having me on
course,
this
man.
show.
Oh, yeah.
Also wanted to give one more. I have a very big announcement to make. I just got before I got here.
Okay.
So let me make sure I got this right. April 13th. There's going to be a 3 o'clock show and a 7:30 p.m. show at the Koger Center, and I will be performing as Elvis Presley
No way.
at the Koger Center.
Sweet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Saturday, April 13th.
That's very exciting.
I'm extremely excited about that.
very
I just got the gig this morning and just wanted to
That's awesome.
actually
Congrats.
put that out there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very excited.
Favorite dinner spot in Columbia?
Oh yeah.
Dinner spot. Oh, see,
get
here's
some
the
food.
thing. So, part of being a musician is we get food is kind
Free
of
food,
part of
yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
So
Good deal.
there are so many. God, there's such a hard because everyone has. But here's also the thing. I have Crohn's disease, so I don't eat a lot of different kinds of foods.
Okay.
So I can tell you exactly where to get the best salmon. Every place,
What's the best salmon?
Yeah.
Hickory Tavern has some
Hickory Tavern?
great salmon.
Okay.
But I mean, also Max on Main has great salmon, and also
Sure.
the joint. And there's just so many different places I get
Yeah.
the exact same food. But there's so many different places in Columbia that are. I mean, as we said earlier, there's enough gigs to go around for everyone.
Yeah.
But just as an audience attendee, just going to the shows. Man, like they're welcoming venues too.
Absolutely.
So I mean, if I don't have a show and I'm going out just to see my buddies play or anything like that, get the food, buy the food. That's
yeah.
how we still have our jobs.
Right, support
Like
the
buy
venue.
some food, get some drinks. Like enjoy the experience.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I love that. Yep. So thank you, Zach, for producing it with audio. Thank you, Jason, JB Creative Studios. Check him out on Instagram for doing the video for this. We're Sam and Illia. Find us on Instagram at Sam and ILLIA. We play private events. We have a wedding band now. All kinds of crazy stuff like that. Check out the Open Jam on Monday nights. We started a Patreon where you can pay $7 a month and have your name or your band's name mentioned at the end of the podcast. We just started it, so I think we already talked about this once, but
Doesn't hurt.
check
Say
that
it
out
again.
No,
online.
we can repeat things.
Yeah.
Link in bio. If you're viewing this on Instagram. Which I don't know why
Thank you,
you would
Sam.
be watching a podcast on Instagram. I don't
I
think they do that
adore
there.
you, Sam Bryant. You're my hero.
Hey.
Record here at the Jam Room for super affordable rates and super high quality recordings. They have the only mastering studio in Columbia. I'm just trying to get through all this stuff, and you guys are just goofing off over
Would
here,
not be.
making this way harder. Oh my goodness.
This is payback for all the times that Sam has gone into my in-ears and just been like, hey, I'm going to
yeah.
make Ilya laugh while I'm like talking to the
Let me talk
audience.
back, Mike.
What's wonderful.
It's at Jam Room Studio on Instagram. They got a mastering room, only one in Columbia. You can use that remotely, get your stuff mastered at a super high quality. You can record here. They got a lot of really cool amps, as you see behind us. A lot of great vintage equipment. Did I miss anything? Gotta make a list of stuff next time.
We do.
Thanks for listening. Check out podcast in 2 weeks. Every other Thursday at 10 a.m. Y'all have a great day.